Heyo, May here. Today we're shooting with a Sony Alpha A6100 and the Fujifilm GA645 Pro with the lovely Ektar 100. Yes, we are shooting both digital and film today. Why? You did not ask? Well, I'll tell you anyways. We are going to compare a couple of shots and see how close we can replicate the digital to the film shots using this cool plugin for Lightroom Classic called Dehancer. Also available in Photoshop, Capture One, APH, and for your video editing softwares like DaVinci Resolve, Adobe After Effects, Premiere, and Final Cut Pro. And it's your lucky day today because I'm introducing the promo code MAYSHOOTS for 10% off any of Dehancer's plugins. Enjoy! If you'd like to skip this POV part and go straight to the Dehancer editing portion of this video, feel free to skip to that part. Today we are taking our eastbound route from Dundas West towards Bloor and Yonge. Alright, you know the drill. Please enjoy the walk. Hiya, I hope you enjoyed the walk, or if you time traveled to this editing portion of the video, no judgments, welcome! Okay, so now I'm going to show you how Dehancer works on Lightroom Classic, and do a couple of edits for you, then give my thoughts about the plugin. So as an experiment, I wanted to see how close I can get the digital shots to imitate the film stock profile for film. So in this case, we used Ektar 100. So once you've installed and set up all that good stuff, you want to pick out the photo you want to edit, basically. So I got this film photo as a reference, and this is my digital. So no edits have been done on this one. So I want to replicate it into something like this, which is the 100 Ektar stock that I've used. And the color differences might be different because Depending on your scanner or maybe the film lab you've sent your roll to, they may have adjusted it with the scanner colors, so it is not always true to the film stock photo colors, just to give you a heads up if you didn't know that. But if you do like what they scan, and you can replicate it with the Dehancer plugin. Also go into more details of like exactly what makes it more film-like as opposed to keeping it digital. So what I do is right click on the photo you want to edit. So this is my digital. I want to edit in and edit Dehancer Lightroom.exe or whatever you named it. So it'll give you some options: edit a copy with the Lightroom adjustments, edit copy, or edit the original. So I want to see all the differences of all the different versions. I'm going to select edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments. So the Dehancer photo window should pop up and you'll get this window here. We're gonna go to profiles and we have already selected Ektar 100. Okay, and you can look here, there's so many different kinds of profiles. Some I haven't even heard of. You can go from Instax to Polaroids. So for example, I've never heard of this one, Natura 16000. Looks great though. There's Provia, we know that. They even have black and white. It's pretty neat. Okay, and my favorite is Portra 160. Oh, so good. And Portra 1800, you got those common ones, 250D, 250T, even Lomo Purple. Where's the brown purple? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna make sure, whoops, reset everything. Okay, and go to profiles again, get this checked, and we're gonna go back to Ektar 100. So the thing with this is you gotta make sure all the profiles have been reset before you continue on, because once you open the Dehancer window again, you're gonna have the same settings as you had set before. So especially on this section here on the right side, everything will be from the previous setup, so you're gonna make sure you want to reset everything. So maybe uncheck everything. So this is like the true tones of Ektar 100 on this profile. Okay, but we want to enhance the colors and color profile to match what do I have here, which is through the scanner and the labs profile, which is a little more warmer tones, magentas, reds. Okay, so we're going to try to emulate this. Okay. Okay, so here we're going to see if we can get some lower exposure, a bit more warmer tones going here. There's definitely more reds going on. Okay, I'm going to check in this film compression. So what this does is going to make it a lot softer. This is definitely the impact of how it will make it look more film-like compared to digital. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so I can see here this part is going to be a little more washed out on the blacks. This is a bit crushed. So I want to kind of lighten that up a little bit. So what I do is maybe through expand form, gonna wash out the shadows here just a little bit. Okay, and then the white point, maybe go back right here. Okay, so another neat thing for this is print. So it will show you different kinds of print and how it will look once it's printed. There's not many to choose from, but there's options here. And then you can adjust also some exposure or contrast. But we're not gonna do that, we're just gonna focus on the digital today. So definitely we're gonna play with the colors a bit and make it a bit more reddish. magenta tones. Like, see, this road here is gonna be a lot more purpley, so maybe just add a little bit more. Okay, another good aspect of this profile, or rather this plugin, is that we can play with the film grain to make it even more film-like. Okay, so you can see here, if I toggle this on and off, you can see the difference. That's digital, that's with some film grain. Okay, and there's not too much film grain on the actual film shot, but there is a little bit, so we can play around with it a tiny bit more. So maybe I just adjust it to make it less prominent if you wanted to. In the end, editing is like an art form, and you can just keep toggling sliders and see what works for your eyes. What looks good to you. Okay, so I can see it's a little still too, maybe too much magenta now. Okay, I'm going to go back and maybe fix that color aspect here. So just a bit less of that. Okay, alright. So we also have halation. I'm not going to apply to this, but I can show you that you can enhance halation lights. For example, when you're using Cinestill 800T, you can even just enhance it on your film photo. And I mean, if you want to also shoot with Kodak Portra 800 at nighttime, you can get those lights really, really, you know, haloed like this. It's very, very soft. Okay, you see the reds kind of popping out more. This is very Cinestill. Okay, very good for those gas station shots. Yep, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, but we don't need this. This is Ektar 100. Hardly any halation, really. Yeah, bloom is also kind of similar to halation, just like making it have a little like softer, but we're not gonna touch that too much. I think it looks good for now. I'm gonna press OK and save it. Okay, so it's been applied. You can see the difference between the digital and this now with the Dehancer look. Okay, so the neat thing about this also is that on top of the plugin, you can also enhance or change up the settings with the regular adjustments for Lightroom. So, you know, the basic adjustments, highlights and whites and shadows and contrast, you can still play with them. You can bump up the clarity to make it a bit sharper again if you feel like maybe it's too much. Okay, so it's kind of like enhanced a bit. Yeah, so this is the digital no edits, this is the digital with edits, and Dehancer applied. Okay, you can see it very, very drastic. And if we zoom in on the grain, we can see the difference too. So here, this is hardly any grain. You see more so pixels, okay? And this is grain. Rain. Yes. Okay, so it does a good job. This is the second photo we're gonna edit. And this is the film. This is the non-film one, digital. So we're gonna make it more film-like, and we're gonna do the same thing. Edit in Dehancer Lightroom, and the Dehancer photo window will pop up. And I will go to Profiles, and it will be on Ektar 100. So I can see that it is quite blue, almost like an aqua blue. Sorry, not aqua blue, aqua green color. And I want to get it to more reddish. This is more true to Ektar, a little more warmer tones. I'm not sure why this profile looks green, but we can always change it up to make it look proper. So maybe this profile is actually not super accurate with Ektar, but let's try to get our adjustments in. Okay, play with this. So definitely want to change more of the colors. So this is going to be a lot redder. There we go. And maybe add more magenta too as well. Definitely better. Okay, and film grain. I'm going to see if we need any actually. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in here. This one is more grainy than the actual film. So I'm going to maybe reduce the amount just by a little bit. Okay, there we go. I think it's good. Okay, and I will keep it like that. No halation or bloom. I think that's good, so I'm going to press OK. Hey, alright, here. So we got this. I'm just further in the Lightroom basic adjustments. A little bit more contrast, I think. Still like need more vibrance. Yes, English. Okay, and saturation. Just a little bit here. Okay, so you can see the difference now. This digital with no edits to the one with the edits, and compare it to this is the film. Okay, so you can see pretty alright. Okay, I definitely think maybe there's a bit more washed out to make that film look jump out, but yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Great. Hey, welcome back to this side of the world. Okay, let's get into the review part of this section. So overall, Dehancer has been a great tool for me to get that film kind of look in my digital photos. I never thought this would be an option where I can actually do the post process of a film look not in camera but afterwards. And the results have been surprising. Comparing it to like Instagram or other editing softwares that makes the film filter look a little too artificial. I like how it goes into the nitty-gritties, like the grain. The grain simulation is incredible. You can hardly tell it's a digital photo from the amount of grain and even the different variety of grain you can put into the photo. I think this is a very good option for people who can't afford a Fujifilm camera, for example, where you can get the film simulation within the camera itself while you're shooting and still want to get that film look. Let's face it, film has been skyrocketing in prices. Kodak and Fuji just announced that next year, maybe around March 2023, prices are gonna go even higher up due to inflation across the country, North America, the world. I'm not saying go shoot digital completely, but the option is there that you can shift a little bit of your process work into this kind of plugin. Another thing is, you know, film, it could be not environmentally the best thing for us. In the long term, all the chemicals is not so great for the mother nature. Another thing is, not everyone enjoys the process of film. It can be a very arduous, long journey. And people sometimes just don't have the patience for that. You have an option there and it's quality, so why not try it out? I think the fact that you have so many sliders for Dehancer as well gives you the full control and artistic freedom to play around with all the settings. The fact that you can use all these color profiles and film stocks is amazing, and you can kind of almost combine these kind of film stocks together. For example, if I'm using an Ektar 100 profile, but I want some halation like Cinestill 800T, I can just slide that halation up. Maybe if I want some film grain from the Ilford 1600 stocks, I can also put the film grain slider up. And maybe I just want the Kodak Portra 160 softness. I can just toggle that slider. It's almost like a painting or an art piece, or you're like a musician. You're playing around with the settings to create an art piece that is satisfying to you. And let's say you also shoot film. You don't have to go completely digital. This is actually a good option. Since they have so many film stock profiles, you can try out. Maybe ones you haven't even heard of, or they're ridiculously expensive. You just want to see it before committing. You want to see how it looks on an actual photo you took. Yes, we have like Flickr and we have Lomo websites to help you search up the film stocks of what it might look like. But the fact that you can actually apply it firsthand into one of the photos that you've taken gets you one step closer to making a better decision with the film stock that you're gonna buy. Or if you're just super curious of how it looks, fun to play around with. So things I would improve for this plugin. Like I said before, there's so many sliders, full control, many options to choose from, but that can also be said as a con for beginners who just don't know what to do, or maybe don't have the confidence enough to make a decision on the sliders and the look of the photo. So having all those options actually might be too overwhelming. Also, there's so many film stocks on there. I wish there was a way to easily find them. For example, maybe a search bar. Having categories for the brands might help, like Kodak, Fujifilm, Ilford, and easily search through those. It's great they had some Lomo options. I just wish they had more. Another thing I felt was a con for me was that I tend to forget to reset my film profiles and also my basic settings for the Dehancer side as well, and that would kind of affect the overall image. And if I were to move on to the next photo, the previous settings would be saved onto that. I just wish you would reset automatically when you open the next photo, so I don't have to uncheck the marks or reset every time. Another point I would like to make is maybe for the halation, put in a masking section where you can actually mask certain areas to have halation effects rather than having the whole photo halate completely. That way you can kind of almost like section it around, like on Photoshop. I don't know if it's a possible thing to do, but maybe just an idea throwing it out there. Overall, it's a great plugin. I really highly recommend you try it out. You actually do get a 30-day free trial, so try it out. And if you like it enough, please use my promo code and you can get 10% off. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Remember to ring that bell, hit like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, family, strangers, people on the streets, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay colorful. Bye.